Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what's the lever in my business that really explodes the equity in the properties I buy. And that lever is the leases, is the tenants. You can buy a building and that's, half vacant, or even if you clean it up, it doesn't mean it's worth more. These buildings are valued on a net operating income. So I need the building to make more money in order for my building to be worth more.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Micah Johnson, and today I'm joined by somebody I've been looking forward to chatting with. His name is Matthew Masoud, who's been making serious moves in the commercial space, especially targeting strip centers. So Matthew, glad to have you, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I'm excited for you to join us. I think our listeners are going to really take something away from how you're approaching what you're doing right now in that commercial space and overall story that you've told me in our pre-talk. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first off, for people who may not be familiar with your world, give us the short version of what's your main focus these days.
Yeah. So these days I'm primarily buying strip centers around the country. Based out of Southern California, but we're open to buying all over the country. We buy strip centers that are half vacant, that are falling apart, and we come in, we clean them up, we occupy them with strong tenants, and then we go ahead and we exit the building, whether that's through a healthy refinance or a sale.
Interesting. So when you got into real estate, first, how long have you been in, and did you go right to this niche, or how did you end up in this space?
Right. So I've been in real estate for almost 5 years now. And when I first got started, it was about multifamily. I started with 3 units in Cincinnati, Ohio, $100,000, fallen apart, cleaned it up, rented out, sold that one a couple months later for 190,000, and then 1031 that money and just kept moving. Mostly multifamily at the beginning, small duplexes, triplexes, quads. And then once I built up a little multifamily portfolio, I was like, is this what I want to be doing? And I thought about it closely and decided that retail, industrial, the commercial assets can offer similar returns, if not better, and way less management intensive. So I got out of multifamily slowly, asset by asset, and 1031 into retail assets, shopping centers.
Interesting. Now, you're one of the folks I've talked to that it's kind of rare that you just come right into real estate and go directly into commercial. Most, you tend to hear the story, they get started in single family, mess around there, and then jump over. So what do you think allowed you to come from not in real estate before, if you want to share about that, what you were doing before, and then coming into it? What was that mindset to take action, as it were?
Yeah. So, growing up, it was, you're going to college, you're going to college, you're going to college. Like that was kind of like, that's the way you're going to do it. You're going to work. We came to this country in order to provide you an opportunity. The opportunity is the only realm of opportunity that they digested was getting a job, working, and then, essentially being in the middle class was their success. But it wasn't for me. When I was in there and then I was working, grinding through the 9 to 5, my plan was just originally, work for 20, 30 years, buy a house a year, rent it out. I was thinking small, but I always kind of had real estate in my head as my early exit. But early exit, I thought it would be a lot later and I'd slowly be picking up units. But after graduating, I continued studying real estate. And then I realized that there's other opportunities to really grow and build a portfolio and scale something.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And then once the idea of value add kind of clicked into my head, you can buy assets, clean them up, rent them for more, and then sell them to an investor for much more than you purchased them for. Once that clicked for me, I was like, let's find a deal, even if it's a small deal. And I realized living in Southern California that I would have to buy outside of Southern California. So
Mm.
I purchased a property in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, 3 units. I did fly out there and spend some time out there because, everything went wrong, but that's real estate. So I flew out there. I stayed there for almost a year and then before coming back and just kept recycling that money. As the property would sell, I'd purchase more apartments and then more, stabilize some stuff, keep it, sell other stuff. And then eventually I saw commercial as just a better way of doing real estate.
Interesting, man. Yeah, commercial, it's a powerful tool. So when you're for the listener that's thinking about commercial and even thinking about this particular space outside of apartments, getting into that retail, the shopping centers, when you're looking at one now, nationwide, one, what's your mindset when you're doing it? And what does a deal look like to you? What are those things you're
Mhm.
looking for that show you, okay, this has some interest and I want to dive deeper?
Yeah. Quite simply, I want to be able to buy something at a great price compared to the other real estate in the area. I want to be able to stabilize it and I want it to be worth significantly more than when I purchased it. It's not dissimilar from doing value add in apartments. It's not dissimilar from doing value add on a house, but it's specifically with shopping centers. There's vacancy, the parking lot's falling apart, the tenants, you have really low quality tenants. Some tenants aren't paying. You go in, you clean up the building in the area, you bring the tenants more business, maybe bring up a monument sign. You want them to do better as well. So we put up monument signs, we put up lighting. We're trying to bring traffic and people to this tenant. So we want them to do really, really well, and then we share in the wealth. So we do that, we stabilize the building, and then 12 to 24 months later, these assets are worth significantly more than when we purchased them. At that point, we'll either do a bird type of cycle if it's something we want to hold and keep in a portfolio, or we sell if it's a lower quality, older asset that we know may have some upcoming large expenses.
Okay. So dig into stabilize a little bit. For someone that may not know what that means, is really interested in this. When you say stabilize, what are you coming in to do?
Yeah. So primarily when it comes to commercial, stabilization comes through the leases. So you need long leases with preferably credit tenants or even strong local tenants that have multiple locations. Businesses, think of your local nail salon, your local massage parlor, maybe a Pizza Hut or a Subway. Those are the type of tenants that we have here. So the better quality of the tenants on the longer leases is what's stabilizing the asset.
And longer leases. When you say longer, how long are you shooting out? What's a good lease for y'all?
Yeah. The minimum's typically 3. We like 5-year leases. If it's a strong tenant with healthy rent increases, we'll do a 7 or a 10-year lease.
Awesome, man. That's interesting. So are these triple net leases? That's the goal?
Yeah, and that's the key. That's the biggest unlock between apartments and between commercial is that these are triple net leases. The toilet in the Pizza Hut breaks, they're not calling. They're fixing the toilet themselves. They even reimburse me for property taxes and for insurance. So what they pay in their base rent is what I should be able to put in my pocket minus my mortgage. All the insurance, the property tax, the repairs, the maintenance gets reimbursed or paid by the tenant.
Man, yeah, that is powerful. If you're getting all that back, you can run numbers a little bit tighter. There's a way to get into these deals that makes it a lot better on the back end.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the biggest downside is stabilization takes longer. Takes longer to find these tenants compared to apartments. The repairs also tend to be bigger. A roof on a 13,000 square foot shopping center is going to cost a whole lot more than a roof on a 10-unit apartment building. And you also have these tenants coming in, they're signing really long leases, so they also take their time in selecting the space. They'll negotiate harder. You're dealing with businesses, more professional transaction, but it is a longer time to stabilization between buying and being ready to exit.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
What's the average time you've seen in your experience so far of how long it takes to get a tenant into one of the units?
Yeah, I hate to say it depends, but some shopping centers have better traffic, some are better located, newer buildings. But typically, we'll see with aggressive marketing and an aggressive broker, we'll typically see anywhere from 2 to 6 months to
2 to
fill a
6.
vacancy. Versus on average in our apartments, I was doing about 30 days to refill.
And
But
how
they
far
sign
in
longer leases. So on average, if you look at it over a 10-year period, the vacancy is actually very similar.
Yeah, once you break it down, for sure. For sure, it starts to catch up. What are you doing? Let's dig in a little bit more. You mentioned credit and a few things about the tenants that you look for. What is it to you that makes it shine like, okay, this seems like a strong tenant. I want to take a chance on them to let them rent this space?
Yeah. I want a tenant preferably that has multiple other locations. Maybe a
Mm,
franchisor that's coming to open his 36 Starbucks. I would love him because he's a strong guarantor. Sometimes you have maybe a sushi place that only has one location and is looking to open a second location, or you have liquor stores. Someone has 9, 10 liquor stores and they're looking to open another one. All of that increases the credibility, especially once you get into the franchisor space and you start looking at the Pizza Huts and the Subways and the Blaze Kitchens and the Starbucks, even as you go to like more upper scale shopping centers. But I want someone that's been around for a while and someone that makes me feel safe. They're going to be there for the 5 years.
and how much is the broker helping you with finding these? So I know a difference in single family is in that space, you're not really using a realtor that much. Some do,
Right.
excuse me, but not everybody's doing that. They're more heavily involved. How much is that broker participating in that process with y'all?
Yeah. So most retail landlords will just buy the shopping center, clean it up, put a broker on it. We take a much more active approach because these tenants are how we stabilize this building. I said the definition of stabilization is these leases. This is literally how we're stabilizing the building. So we take a very aggressive approach towards finding these tenants. We'll message on Instagram, local, let's say we want a hair salon. Place used to be a hair salon, has the plumbing to be a hair salon. So what we'll do is we'll start messaging local hair salons on Instagram. We'll start sending them letters. We'll start calling them even and saying, "Hey, are you looking to expand or move?" I was doing that earlier today. I was me, my VA, other people on my team. We're calling local salons and asking if they're looking to move or expand in 2026. If they say they are, we share our location and we see if it's a good fit. So it's a very aggressive style of leasing. But I'd say about half the leases we get are ours. The other half comes from the broker. And we pay the broker very well, even for leases that we bring, because they have to show the space, they have to write the lease, they negotiate for us. We'll bring them leads all the time.
Man, that's a powerful way to go on offense. I love that
Right.
thought process. What was that? What triggered that for you to be like, okay, I'm going to look at it here and then go find these people on social media to see if they want to move.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what's the lever in my business that really explodes the equity in the properties I buy. And that lever is the leases, is the tenants. You can buy a building and that's, half vacant, or even if you clean it up, it doesn't mean it's worth more. These buildings are valued on a net operating income. So I need the building to make more money in order for my building to be worth more. So what I need to do is I need to go find these tenants that are going to, maybe they're looking to expand out of their space. Maybe they're looking to move. So once I realize that the key to unlock equity in my buildings are the tenants, now it's simply how can I hit that as hard as possible. So along with interviewing several different brokers and being very selective on the same end, I have a VA that's constantly reaching out. I'm sending letters on the weekends. We're calling these people. Like you said, it's playing offense instead of just sitting there and hoping the broker that you hire is good. Because I'm going to be frank with you, most brokers aren't.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, it's funny. That's not the first time I've heard that. And I've been in
Yeah,
real estate since 2014, so it's I've seen my fair share, and it's one thing. The guy that taught me real estate, he said, Micah, there's no competition if you'll just show up and work. If you'll
that's right.
just show up and do your job, there's no competition in this space because, and out through years of doing it now, it's like, man, you're absolutely right. The only competition is you showing up each day. If you can overcome that, the sky's the limit here.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, in your journey so far, so you've been doing it for 5 years, got started right into commercial, made that adjustment once you realized you didn't like the apartments, you wanted something different. What have been your challenges in this strip center space? What are the things that someone needs to look out for if they're interested in doing it?
yeah. So, number one, the buildings aren't as expensive as you may think. A lot of people think commercial; they think big bucks. Not necessarily. I bought commercial property at a very low price, as low as $200,000-$300,000 for a strip center. We need to keep an eye out for is that sometimes repairs and expenses can add up, and there sometimes you have other expenses that aren't in apartments that you have in commercial that you need to consider, like broker fees. Every tenant that broker brings in, you're going to pay them six, eight, $10,000 for bringing you that tenant. Sometimes roof and other repairs and electrical, like you have larger electrical boxes with higher wattage. So those are things that you need to prepare yourself for when doing these assets. The other thing is that there's not a lot of people in the space, and not necessarily strip centers. Just getting creative in other avenues of real estate, whether it's strip centers or mobile home parks or self storage or all these different asset class, short term rentals, mid term rentals. There's all these different niches in real estate that you can make a whole lot of money in. So go out there and figure out which one fits your personality best, which asset class fits your personality best, and then become an expert there. So I've decided to become an expert in strip malls and shopping centers. So that's the branch of real estate that I went down now. Other branches can make a lot of money and pick your branch. And at different parts of the cycle, different assets are better. So
Mm.
2019, 2020, 2021, it was a great time to buy apartments. There was a big spread between, what you paid for them and what the rents were going to be. And then a lot of people got into the space. And now it's really hard to find an apartment where you can get it at a real discount. So part of my reason for shifting asset classes, other than the tenants, was about my ability to really get stuff at a discount, which I've had trouble doing in apartments.
And that's not an uncommon story in that shift of the landlording part. And I think a lot of folks get into real estate looking for the more passive quote unquote income. And when you're dealing directly with someone living in your property, there's very little passivity to that. There's a lot of work involved. And
Oh,
in your world where you were trying to not have that quote unquote job, you're trying to get out and
right,
make wealth, really create more. That part doesn't feel good, right? It's not
right,
the part you got into it. And
yeah,
so what I love about your story is you didn't get stuck. What was that motivator to, you know what, I am just going to change. It's
right.
okay to do that. I'm going to find that other one. What in you was that driver? So if someone else is kind of feeling stuck in their own niche right now and thinking, I need to get to another one, what was that mindset and shift for you?
Yeah. So my location freedom is incredibly important to me. I want to be able to go where I want, live where I want, whether that's in Southern California, whether that's in Florida. I want to be able to do that. But in order to do that, you have to be able to create a system that can manage and take care of your real estate portfolio. And if you're really good, a system that can grow your real estate portfolio for you. So you have to be able to create that system. Can you do it in apartments? Absolutely. But it is significantly harder to manage a apartment portfolio long distance than it is to manage a commercial property long distance. So
Mm,
that desire to be able to live where I want and not have to live on Ohio just because I have 60, 80 units there. And obviously I get to a point where I hire a property manager, but someone's got to manage that property manager. Someone's got to manage that maintenance person. So it never really goes away. No matter how much levels you try to go up, it never really goes away. So at the end of the day, which one it gives me, if I want to build a large portfolio, which one's going to be easier to do? And that turned out to be commercial. And especially because I hadn't grown that large of an apartment portfolio. I was at around 30 to 40 units. So pivoting wasn't that hard because it was across 6 or 7 assets. I could just list them 1031 and move to another one. And there's another thing I want to touch on. It's a way of taking risk while mitigating the risk. So it's a strategy I like to use where before I take a next step, I find a job, a 9 to 5 job in that next step in order to educate me on how to do it. So when I decided I wanted to get into apartments, I got a job as a property manager. When I decided I wanted to get into commercial, I became a commercial broker for several months and I leased space for other landlords. So I use the 9 to 5 as a tool to educate me and continue shifting and learning through those 9 to 5 so then I can go out and execute in the real world on my own and actually build wealth.
That's a powerful move, man. I like that because it's thinking with the long game in mind. I feel like a lot of folks get into real estate and they just want it all right now, hit that home run deal that just sets them free forever. But there's really not one of those. They're
Yeah,
having a plan for how you're going to make those adjustments. I like that. I like that a lot because you're leveraging the knowledge and still getting paid to do it. So it's not like you're losing, you're only gaining
exactly.
and putting
Exactly,
that
and
together.
you're between the hours of 9 and 5, you're still being educated, and then between the hours of 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., now you can go out and you can take action based on what you learned. The key part is, you gotta be flexible, you gotta be okay with change and being proactive to go and apply for other roles, and then once you're getting educated to, have the confidence to go out and actually take action, actually make moves. Okay, what do I need to do today in order to buy my first property? What do I need to do today in order to finish stabilizing this building and this building?
Where would you tell someone to start who they're in a 9 to 5 right now? That's not real estate related yet, right? They're kind of at
Yeah,
your early stage and they're thinking about real estate. It's in their mind. They've always liked it. What would you tell them to think about and to pay attention to in order to make that jump?
yeah. Number one, get educated. It's a lot easier to get educated if it's your job to get educated, but you can also get educated on your own. That's not always possible for people that are earning well in very specialized fields. But if you're could go out there and you could go work as a property manager, you could work as a real estate agent, you could work as an appraiser. All of these jobs that are in real estate, but they're still jobs. You get educated. I know a guy that's a very very successful commercial real estate investor, and he used to be a loan officer at a bank. So
Mm.
there's roles that you can get in there. You just have to get out there and apply. And applying is just a numbers game. So you decide, hey, and there are property managers out there that make 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 grand. So you can replace your income with those roles, put together a strong resume with what skills you have that you feel like are applicable to property management or a brokerage or appraisal, and go out there and send out hundreds and hundreds of applications.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you're in that position where you're wondering, hey, how do I do this? What Matthew's just presented is a great idea. There's so often we think we just need to quit one and start another, where
Yeah,
it's add a middle step in there. You are quitting one thing, but you're picking up another job to teach you about the thing you're fixing to go in business for yourself
right.
for and leveraging that time, knowledge, and money right into it, which develops what I've learned is the most important thing in real estate, which is relationships. Like it's
Yeah,
hard if you're already doing the thing for work that makes you go meet the people, you don't unmeet people.
right. Right. And if you are too busy and you are a working professional, that's not possible for you, you can still educate yourself. But now your 5 to 9 at the beginning is educating yourself, and eventually that'll be taking action. So you can still educate yourself even if you can't do it as your full time role. But either way, you got to be proactive. Whether that's going home and sitting on the computer, and watching YouTube videos with a pen and paper, or whether that's doing it through your 9 to 5. Either way, you need to get yourself educated, and then you need to get yourself actually to take action.
That next piece, because you can learn a lot, but until you're doing it, you're not really using what you learn.
Yeah,
Now,
and
if
that first one's
someone's
the
wanting
hardest,
to
even though it's the smallest. It's the hardest. That first one.
if you yeah, the first one's it's the hardest it's ever gonna be is that first
Yeah,
time. Once you see the loop happen and you get to
yeah,
witness all parts of the process, then all of a sudden your mind puts it together. You're looking
yeah.
at it from the
That's right.
outside. You're like, okay, we can do this. Now that education wise, so let's talk to that person that can't switch jobs and wants to
Yeah,
learn about strip center investing. Is there
Yeah.
any YouTube channels that you recommend? Any videos for them to go check out right
Yeah.
after they finish listening to this?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Strip Mall Guy. He has a great Twitter page, even though I literally downloaded Twitter just for him. And he goes and he just gives very, very specific niche advice that I usually can apply immediately. So I've been very grateful that he's taking the time to post that stuff. I also have a very small YouTube video or a YouTube channel where I go around and walk around my properties and talk about what I'm doing there. Commercial Deal Junkie. So you could go there and just kind of see me walking around my assets. But at the end of the day, what I learned is that no one is going to teach you like doing a deal yourself. Even if you have to start really, really small, do a deal yourself. Like Micah said, if you go full cycle and you come to the exit and you get paid out, and then you realize this is possible, and you're like, I could do this again. But make sure you're educated, you make careful decisions, but you have to actually make decisions. You have to actually take action. And not all of them are going to go well. I have deals where I thought I was going to make, 60, 70, 80, 100 grand that I made 10 on. I was lucky I broke even on. So they're not all going to go well, but you need to be educated enough where you're batting a lot more good deals than you are bad, and then just take action. That's the part I keep going back to. Just do something, do it.
It take mass. There's a quote about it. It's massive imperfect action. It doesn't,
Right.
and I think a lot of folks get stuck there. Is no one likes messing up. Bothers
Yeah.
me every time I do it, but it doesn't make you stop. It doesn't. You
Yeah.
keep pushing through it. And I love you mentioned Strip Mall Guy. I follow Strip Mall Guy on X for years now. He finally came out, and you know who he is. He put his face on
Right.
there, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Recently, I think his name's Trent.
Yeah.
But you're
That's right.
right, man. Like he drops dimes on X. He puts out some very good information. And I read it. I don't even do strip malls. I just love the way that he
Right.
does it. Because it's like,
Yeah.
wow, this is somebody that's pouring real value into the space who's doing it at a really high level. And
Right.
you don't get that everywhere. So definitely, if you're thinking about this, go find people on social media that you can follow too. So sometimes action is just that's your first step, right? A lot of people, is action your offer? Not necessarily. If you don't know what you're doing, education's your action. Just don't
Right.
get stuck in that education phase.
Right.
Okay, so I definitely we'll have the link for Commercial Deal Junkie in the description after this. If someone wants to reach out to you and touch base and learn how you took action, get a little more information from you on that, and or learn more about commercial deals and what you're doing, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I also have a school community where we actually go into more details and we'll share deals and we'll rate each other's deals and things like that. You can find that also under Commercial Deal Junkie on school. And yeah, that's a great place to share your deal. We'll share ours, what stuff we learned in the area. It's just a more private and intimate place for us to talk about a very complex topic that's commercial real estate.
Awesome, man. School's a powerful platform for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are on there as well. Great place to go learn and connect. So if you're watching this, check out Commercial Deal Junkie School. If that's what you're into, check them out on YouTube. Matt, I really appreciate the talk, man. Enjoyed having you on. I appreciate your perspective, story, what you're bringing to it. I think more people in the space need to be taking action like you're doing. A young guy making moves out here and showing people it's possible. You can level up your life. If you've enjoyed this episode, please, again, check out Matt's YouTube page, give him a follow, give us a subscribe here, like this episode. We have more coming up soon with investors just like Matthew who are making moves in the real estate space. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.